everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet a granny rectangle. So it's a nice little twist on your sort of classic granny square. If you're anything like me, I like my blankets to be rectangular, but I also love granny squares. Like the giant granny square just looks great. I find that a square shape for a blanket isn't really practical. Maybe I've got, I don't know, a weird shaped body, but I like a rectangular shape. And this is a fab way to do like a continuous granny square, only in rectangular form. So it's a really simple pattern to follow. In advance of the instructions which you're about to get, I just want to give a little heads up to anyone that is an experienced crocheter or has made granny squares. Do what works for you and what you would normally do for a granny square. So on the corners, if you are a chain 2 kind of girl or you're a chain 5 kind of guy, I don't know, do what you would usually do. I'm a chain 3 girl, and that's because I automatically will chain 3 because I always look to join as I go. And when I join as I go, that middle chain of the 3 is what I substitute for a slip stitch, and therefore I'm pinching it in the exact middle point when I'm joining. So that is why I do chain 3. If your tension is different and you do chain 2, do chain 2 for this pattern. The same with the side sections. If you normally chain 1 in between your granny clusters, chain 1 in between your granny clusters. If you don't, great, I don't for this either. But so that is my little kind of disclaimer before we start. Everybody's tension is different. What yarn you'll be using will be different. If you're using mega fat yarn, you might want to pop in an extra chain just to give yourself some slack. But that's my little disclaimer ahead of this. If you normally put chain 1 in between your clusters to make it lie nicely, do that. If you chain 2 in the corners, chain 2 in the corners. If you chain 4, chain 4. If you chain 103, I don't know. Do what you would normally do for a granny square. Okay, enough for me. Let's crack on and make a granny rectangle. Okay, so I am going to be using a 6mm crochet hook with Signet Chunky in the colorway Sax. Now you can use any yarn, any hook size, this pattern will work. This is just what I had to hand to be able to show you what I'm doing. So granny rectangles, the pattern multiple is 3. So you need to chain as wide as you want the central section of your rectangle to be. Just chain multiples of 3. Now normally when I'm doing a granny rectangle blanket, I find that chaining 24 gives me quite a nice sort of middle length, but totally up to you. Chain multiples of 3. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to go ahead and chain 18. So in multiples of 3, chain as many as you require. So I've got my 18 chains, and you have got however many chains in multiple of 3 that you have chained. So you're going to be working into the 6th chain from your hook. So this loop on your hook does not count as anything. You want to count from the very first loop hanging off the bottom. So you're going to count back 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're going to put 3 double crochets all into that same chain. So the 6th hook from your chain. Then you're going to skip 2 chains and put 3 double crochets into the next. Skip 2 chains, 3 double crochets into the next. And you're going to keep doing that the full length of your chains, skip 2, put 3 double crochet into the next, all the way until you get right down to the bottom here by the slip knot. So you've worked your 3 double crochets all the way to the end to the slip knot. So you've got your first sort of top row. Now you're going to chain 5. And you're going to slip stitch right into the bottom, that same chain here where you did your last set of double crochets. So it forms a loop. So you've got a loop over here from the chains you skipped in the beginning, and you've got a loop over here. Now you're going to turn your work so the work you've done is now upside down. You're going to chain 2, which counts as a stitch, and then into these spaces at the bottom of your sort of granny clusters here, you're going to pop 3 double crochets. And 3 in between over here. Three in between your last 2. Then you're back to this loop over here. Now into this loop you are going to work a corner, or the beginnings, the sort of setup corner for all your remaining rows. So into this end loop you're going to work 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, all still working into the same loop, chain 3, 3 more double crochets, still working into that very same loop. So you're sort of coming back around the corner like that. So you have worked 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, all into that end loop. Now you're going to work along this top edge, and you're going to pop, just like you did before, 3 double crochets in between these clusters of 3. So just work 3 double crochets into the space in between them. In here, here, and here. And you'll find you're back to this sort of chain 5 loop we did earlier. Just like we did at this end, in this chain 5 loop, we need to form the sort of basis of a corner. So put 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, chain 3, and you're going to end with just 2 double crochets because we did a chain 2 when we first started coming round, which counts as a stitch. So just end with just 2 double crochets, all still into this chain 5 loop, and then slip stitch to the top of that chain 2 you did right back when we were here earlier. So this is the basis, get my tail out of the way, of your granny rectangle. From this point on, if you wanted to be changing colour every row or turning to keep it nice and straight, however you want to work it, this is the point at which you would change colour and add a new colour in between any of these clusters. But I'm going to keep working in blue for this round, and then for the next one I'll show you how you change colour, just in case that's what you wanted to be doing. But if you were continuing in the same colour, just slip stitch into this gap, just the gap in between your chain 2 you just slip stitch to and this first sort of granny cluster. Chain 2, which counts as a stitch, and then pop 2 more double crochets into that same space. Then you're going to put 3 double crochet in between the spaces all the way along, and I will meet you just before you tackle this corner here. Right, so I'm ready to tackle my first corner. So I've come along the top, going in between the sets of 3 double crochets. And so this chain 3 space here is your first corner. So to work a corner from this point on, it's 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, all into this same space. And now you're immediately ready to tackle the very next chain 3 space. So the same again, 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, all into this space here. Now you're going to put 3 double crochet into the space in between these little clusters all the way along until you're ready to tackle the next corner space over here. So you go ahead and pop in your clusters of 3 double crochet all the way along. So I'm back at my next chain 3 space. So I'm going to go ahead and pop a corner in, which is 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, all into the same place. And again, into the next corner over here, your chain 3 space, create a new corner with 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, all into that same chain 3 space. And by now you'll find you've come all the way back round again, and you're right back to where you started, your very first 2 chains here. So I'm going to be changing colour for the next round. So go ahead and just slip stitch to the top of that chain 2. Just pop your hook in and pull through everything. I'm going to snip my yarn. Chain 1, pull it up and through, and just so it's out of my way for the next few rounds, you will have to weave in your ends by the time you're done. I'm just going to pop my hook underneath that stitch, catch the yarn, and just pull it to the back, and then it's not flopping around in the front of my work. So I'm going to grab my next colour and join for the third and final round that I'm going to show you. Okay, so I've grabbed some Signet Chunky in white for the next round. So this is where we joined finished off, the blue round. So I'm going to spin everything around just so I'm joining my new colour in a different place completely. And because you obviously don't want to have to sit through me crocheting the entire round, because obviously it's getting bigger every time, I'm going to join my yarn quite nice and close to this corner section so I can show you pretty quickly what you do on these bits. So I'm going to go ahead and join my yarn. So you can join your yarn however you want to join your yarn. I personally like to pop a slip knot on my hook. So I've popped my hook straight through and pop the hook into my slip knot at the back, and then just bring this loop to the front like so. So chain 2, which counts as a stitch, and put 2 more double crochets into that exact same space. Now don't worry about if your slip knot has come to the front like mine has here. When you weave in your ends later, you can pull it and sort of give it a little tug around so that knot disappears into here. So just like before, you're going to, on all these sides, put 3 double crochet into the space in between your sets of granny clusters. And by granny clusters, I mean sets of 3 double crochet. And I'm over here pretty quickly by the corner. So in this chain 3 space here, I'm going to treat it like I did before and how you will for the rest of this blanket. In the corner, 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, all into this chain 3 space here. And then for this side, in between the granny clusters, I'm just going to pop 3 double crochet. So as your blanket grows, you're going to have 1 more extra cluster to put in on this end return each time. So the next round you'll have 2, then 3, then 4, and it just grows like that. So now I'm back to a corner again, 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, all into the same space. So wherever you have a chain 3 corner, you create a new corner with 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. So your corners will grow outwards like this. So now I'm back to a long run down the sides. So go ahead and put 3 double crochets in between your sets of 3 double crochet all the way down, and I'll meet you back here at this corner. I have just crocheted my own hair into my work. Right, I'm back at a corner. So in this chain 3 space, 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, all into that same chain 3 space. Three double crochet in between your granny clusters. And then I'm back to a corner again. 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. Then you've got the nice long run back to the start of this round. 3 double crochet in between the sets of 3 double crochet from the row below. And then when you reach where you started, join with a slip stitch to the top of your chain 2. And if you're going to change colour for the next round, I'd probably be tempted to go back to blue. Cut your yarn. Chain 1. And pull that little tail just so it's not flopping around up here. Just have it so it's flopping around at the back instead. We'll deal with those later. So the golden rule to the granny rectangle is just the same as a granny square. Whenever you're in a corner, you pop a corner, which is 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, like I'm doing on this section here. So wherever you've got a corner, you pop a corner, and wherever you have sets together like this along a side, be it the long side or the short side, you just put 3 double crochet in between them. And as I said earlier, you'll grow by 1 of these clusters for each round. 1 extra one will appear. So that's it. I hope that helps some of you. Granny rectangle is a great alternative to a square, particularly, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of square lap blankets. Maybe my thighs are super wide, I don't know, but I prefer my blankets to be rectangular in shape, but I do love the look of a granny blanket. So this is the perfect marriage between the two. It's mindless, you don't have to think about it once you get going. It's great as a scrap blanket. And that's pretty much it. If you find that your tension means that you only put 2 chains in your corners, just do 2 chains in the corners. If you want to chain 1 in between your clusters because it's all getting a bit too tight, chain 1, do whatever you would normally do for a granny square. It's purely the same, just a rectangular version. So happy crocheting. Enjoy making your granny rectangle blankets, and I shall see you again soon on my channel for more crochet videos. Happy crocheting!